Welcome to the Meat Potatoes Podcast. We're here with Travis Stringham, who is the owner of Origin Brand Merch. How are you?
Doing great.
Thanks for joining today. We have a little bit of what y'all offer here on the table, but you guys have a lot. I've actually been to your headquarters down in Orem.
In Orem, yeah.
And you've got a room full of all sorts of cool jerseys, cool phone chargers,
Bit of everything.
radio controlled cars. And so for me, having helped put on Slope Summit and been to a lot of trade shows and conventions, and it's always actually fun, whether you're a billionaire or a poor nonprofit worker like me, to get stuff. But a lot goes into it. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Origin and how long you've been involved, what y'all do. Let's just kind of set the table with the basics.
Yeah, you bet. Well, thank you first off for the opportunity to be here. It's a privilege to be here, so thank you. Yeah. Been in business since 1978, so been around a really long time. We went through a rebrand a few years ago, so some people might not recognize the new name. For years, we were YBA Shirts up until about 2020, 2021. We should have done the rebrand much sooner, but we didn't. We do everything. We have two different divisions. There's Origin Brand Merch, which handles corporate customers and takes care of corporate accounts. And then Team Built, which is our sports division. We have a significant sports business. It's kind of where we cut our teeth in business back in 1978. And so we've held on to some of those ways of doing business. And so even though we go about them differently, we have reps going after different target markets. We still like to keep our feet in both. In fact, as the economy has gone up and down, and it's kind of a bit of a roller coaster, it's interesting. When corporate has dropped, sports has picked up, and vice versa. When COVID hit, everything stopped, right? But it's actually been quite a blessing to our business to have both of those divisions. And interestingly enough, they complement each other at times. When you're sourcing overseas, when you're looking at different fabrics, certain decoration types, I think it's given us a bit of an advantage over maybe where some competitors are, having both of those divisions.
Yeah. Playing junior jazz growing up, for better or worse, it was always exciting to get the jersey. And if I had any business sense at the time, I'd be like, man, this would be a pretty good business. Every year, these kids are going to just grow and need new jerseys, right? But the sports part is also cool because it seems like now every team's got 19 jerseys, all sorts of cool colors. Probably pretty good for you guys to have these teams like being a lot more artistic with their jerseys, all the way to like Little League.
It's awesome, yeah, and you nailed it. We've got the most basic of basic jerseys, right? Just your traditional reversible mesh tank, which interestingly enough, the Oklahoma City Thunder are doing a throwback jersey of that right now. So we're looking at, we're doing some of those jerseys with them, which is kind of cool just because retro is always in, right? But nonetheless, the most basic reversible type jersey up to, we work with some colleges and universities on their jerseys. So yeah, when you talk about quality, we've got the full spectrum, and then certainly everything that goes with it, warm-ups, shooter shirts, bags, backpacks.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Everything that goes with it. So yeah, we do everything from start to finish there. And I don't know if you knew this, kind of a fun fact, but my father-in-law started the junior jazz program.
Oh.
So he could never do the jerseys back then because it was a conflict of interest.
Oh.
But he's the one that took that original idea to Larry Miller, and he started the junior jazz program. It's the biggest junior, to this day, it's still the biggest junior professional league in the NBA.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, kind of a cool thing.
Great ROI for everyone that participated, and probably a pretty good ROI for the Jazz too.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have a lot of kids in Utah, so it's been a successful program.
Yeah. There's obviously a big difference between a jersey that's going to get pulled and ripped and tugged on versus, a corporate t-shirt.
Yeah.
You guys have to worry about all of that, I would assume.
We do. Yeah. And certainly there's different decoration types for both, right? So that's where I mentioned that I think one benefits the other a little bit, because some of the things that we learned in jerseys are much harder to print than anything apparel related.
Yeah.
And they are because there's multiple sides, right? When you're trying to print a number on 4 sides of a reversible or a logo on all 4 sides, and you're having to keep that organized and consistent, and different fabrics. I mean, polyester, nylon, cotton, anything, spandex, anything that you can think of. Jerseys were by far the most difficult thing to decorate. So having that experience of working with that up front, printing a poly cotton t-shirt's pretty easy.
Yeah, gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
Couple of examples come to mind. Seinfeld, when George Costanza worked for the Yankees, and one of the players was not happy with how hot their uniforms were. And I can't remember if it was polyester to cotton or cotton to polyester. It turned into a big old mess for George Costanza, right? But it kind of happened this year or last year in Major League Baseball.
What a mess. Nike jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a little bit too see-through, right? Which is crazy, because when you're doing sourcing, that's the risk you run. And I not to necessarily compliment ourselves, but I have the opportunity to. So you've got to trust your partners. You've got to be thorough about it. Certainly white in and of itself is a transparent color. So I think those are some of the biggest problems they had with those jerseys. And to me, that's a bit of a no-brainer. That would have been that should have never happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It was a very public shaming.
It sure was. Yeah. And to a company like Nike, which is surprising. I mean, it's interesting how those brands rebound though, and they can afford to make a mistake like that and customers still keep their loyalty. So it's a little fascinating to me.
Yeah. It's good to be in that position. I'm
guess
sure
so. Yeah.
There's a lot of fire drills those weeks, but they can withstand that. So that's like also a fun side of the business, right? Because most people love sports. Even if you don't love sports, you love the Olympics at the very least, right? But you get to see your products and all your hard work and research and development out there with like smiling faces.
Yeah. And that's by far the most rewarding part of the business is I'm a huge fan of Christmas. It's always been my favorite holiday, but everybody loves getting new stuff, right? Yeah. And if you're a company employee and you get a new shirt or hat or water bottle or whatever it is, anything to kind of and it's cool looking to me. We like to do different and be different. There's a lot of merch companies out there, a lot of promo companies. Anybody can do a water bottle. Anybody can do a pen or a squish ball or whatever else. But to me, if you're going to do something, do it different. You didn't start your business to be normal and average, right? You didn't do it to fit in with the crowd. You did it because it was unique and you wanted to bring something cool and different to the market. So brand it that way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you started your business to be different, brand it different. And that's kind of the way we like to approach business.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great being able to, one of the things we like to say is one of our slogans is delivering excitement to what you wear. And so, yeah, it's a fun day when you get those boxes and it's, little bit like Christmas opening.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For like corporate clients, you can either like take their direction and you either have it or you can get it, or you can kind of guide them a little bit to your point of, I don't know, do you want to be differentiated or just put pencils and mints out like everybody else? What is the consulting process, like the customer relations, once you have like these corporate clients and their trade show or convention or employee presence?
Yeah, it's such a great question. We get it often. I'll also say, again, one of the things that I think differentiates us a little bit, I always like to use the phrase, bait the hook to suit the fish. There's times where you want to just throw out mints, right? Yeah. There's times when you just need to throw out a pen and it needs to be cheap and inexpensive and whatever else. Chick-fil-A is a good example. We do a bit of business with Chick-fil-A, and there's times they'll call me and say, hey, we want some t-shirts to throw out at a football game. We don't care how long they last. We don't care if they're all XX. Yeah. Just, we're going to throw it's a white shirt with the basic Chick-fil-A logo. We're just going to get rid of these things. I need them as cheap as possible. Great. We can do that. There's always times you're going to need that. But then there's other times where it's not that, right? And you need something a little bit nicer and deeper and cleaner and more professional. And so to me, it all depends on the event. And I take a lot of pride, and we take a lot of pride in knowing what we do. We spend a lot of time at trade shows studying fabrics, trends, styles, brands, looking at what brands are doing, colors. And so we like to be up on that. And a lot of our we have some very big corporate accounts that we work with, And they demand that, you know what I mean? They like to know what's new and different and what's coming, and they like to be 6 to 12 months ahead. And of course, we respect that. And I feel it's my responsibility as a business owner to be able to deliver that and talk that talk.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time researching products and finding out what's new and looking at the new and trending and coming brands. And there's multiple trade shows throughout the year. Magic is one of them that's a big one. And you'll find everything from high fashion to hip hop, to elegant, to, you know, everything else there. But we like to stay up to date on that so that we can not only educate our customers on that, but when they're coming to us for advice and information, we have it. We can give it to them and recommend, you know, specific products for that. And we help you through that the whole step of the way. A lot of times companies might give you a catalog, right? Here you go. It's like giving you a phone book and kind of saying good luck.
Yeah.
We've never liked to do that. I mean, to me, it's let's have a conversation. What fabric are you looking for? Do you need a certain brand, right? And then we can kind of filter down the options, and then I can save both you and I time, and also get you the product that you want for whatever event, you know, you're dealing with.
Yeah. I love that because you can kind of see by the lines around, you know, at least conventions. I don't think it's like anecdotal. If people have cool merch, they're going to have more people
interacting. They're
with
traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. I always like to say that. Before the started, you and I talked a little bit about, you know, the merch and the swag and the stuff that we all get. To me, if you're going to, you know, use a piece of something for marketing, do something that they're not going to throw away.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been to the trade shows where we get home and we've got our bag full of stuff that who knows why we got it, probably just because it was free.
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll go through it. We might pick out a few items we want to keep and the rest of it goes in the trash.
Yep.
So to me, they're literally throwing that away. I mean, they might as well just throw away dollars, literally. And to me, do something sticky. Do something that somebody's going to want to hold on to.
Yeah.
And so that's where we like to be different. And so maybe it's not a pen. Maybe it's, I mean, one of a cool new product that we just came across is a water bottle humidifier. So you can take a little 16-ounce bottle of water and stick a humidifier in it, and it's a little desktop humidifier.
There you go.
It's pretty cheap, but it's kind of cool, right? That's something that you'd have a difficult time throwing away.
Oh yeah,
right. So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
that's got to be another fun part of it. Is you got to see all these at some point inventions, right, or tweaks on a different product, and then kind of coupling those with what people might want in 6 to 8 months. That's got to be a bit of fun, I would imagine.
It's a blast. Yeah, it's a blast. And it's even cool. It's kind of ruins you in a way too, because no matter where I'm at, I mean, I was at the airport a couple of days ago, and I mean, there's times I'm taking pictures of people or wanting to take pictures of them because of something they're wearing, but certainly you go into an electronics store and you see something, or you walk into any sort of a department store, and if there's something that's cool in there, my mind's going off right then, and we're trying to figure out a way to duplicate it and make it better. But it's a fun industry that way, because really there's billions of products in this market, right? And if you can think it, I think we can find a way to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of that point, like, it's a big world, a lot of people building and making cool things. They're probably all not within 10 miles of your office, right? So you probably might need to voyage out in there and see. And is there ever times where there might be something in Asia or Europe that hasn't gotten here yet, and you guys kind of have first mover advantage on any of that?
Occasionally. So we've got some very good connections in multiple countries. COVID helped us with that a bit. It kind of it gave us the time that we needed to research some other countries and get out there. So, I mean, we import through China, Cambodia, Bangladesh, Egypt, Pakistan, the Dominican, Mexico, multiple places. And as new products come up, the world is big, but it's also a very small place, especially when it comes to manufacturing and production. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And what's really fascinating is, the hat company is next door to the water bottle company. is next to the polo shirt company, is next to the divot repair tool. Anyway, it's all connected, and they all kind of know each other and work together. So yeah, as we have relationships with factories over there's products that are coming out even at the retail level that maybe aren't even out yet, where the factories will shoot something over to us and say, hey, this is going on right now, or this just came out. You might be interested in it. Some of the ideas don't float. We're in different economies, right? What's maybe cool in China right now isn't necessarily cool in the U.S.
Sure.
But yeah, certainly there's times that there's something up and coming that they'll make us aware of, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of corporate golf tournaments, and they're fun, but I'm always shocked that they're not giving away golf related apparel and or divot repair tools. It's always been a weird thing for me, kind of to your point of like, give them something they'll use.
Yeah. And while on that subject, I tell customers, don't ever buy the plastic or metal divot repair. Guys don't want. We don't want those. Golfers don't want those.
Yeah.
You want the switchblade, right?
Yeah.
You want the one that you get to push the button because it's both a toy and it's cool and it does the job. So it's like you invest in the switchblade. It's what people are going to hold on to. The other ones, you might use it for the round, but it's going to go in the trash when it's over.
Yep. And you can use it when somebody's in their backswing, the little switchblade. Or not. So you mentioned 1978, and you've been the owner for 25 years.
In my 25th year.
25th year, which is a long time.
Yeah.
To do that, you've got to be good at relating to customers or customer relationships. I assume a happy customer is the best customer for you guys with longevity. Do you have any examples of like customers that have been around for your 25 years?
Yeah. There's a handful of them. And yeah, I'm in my 25th year. There's 4 owners to our company. I'm in business with my 3 brother-in-laws. I've always said their sister is better looking than all 3 of them combined.
Oh, guaranteed.
So that's who I married. Yeah. And during that time, we have Golden State Warriors have been a customer for that long. What's really interesting is they left us for a year. It's back in 2008 or 2009. And somebody came along with a cheaper price, and it was a mess. In fact, they called us about 2 months into the relationship saying, will you please take us back? Like they were literally begging us to take them back. And just a very bad experience. But ironically enough, that has built loyalty, right? I mean, sometimes when things go wrong with customers, the loyalty that comes from you taking care of the mistake speaks volumes and can oftentimes make the relationship stronger than it ever was before, had nothing ever gone wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Golden State Warriors have been a longstanding relationship. There's a client, I9 Sports, that started out at 2,000 jerseys. They were brand new. They started out as 2,000 jerseys, and they're up and over about 1 million units a year.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, massive growth in about 22 years. A lot of long-standing sports programs that have been out there, YMCA type programs. As well as corporate accounts. Chick-fil-A has been a long-standing relationship that we've had, as well as some other restaurants. And yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, when you have a customer that long, there's a relationship, right? And we believe very strongly in relationships. We don't like to be transactional. To me, you can go find any business to be transactional, right? I think relationships are great when things are good. You're going golfing, you're going to lunch, life is good. Mm-hmm. They're critical when things are bad.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we make mistakes, right? We got people that are decorating our product. Sometimes product is defective and things go wrong. Mm-hmm. And that's human nature. That's business, right? Every one of us have dealt with it. But the real question is, how is it going to be taken care of when something does go wrong? How quickly, and do you have a relationship in place to where you know that you can make a quick phone call or send a text message and it's going to be taken care of? Yeah. And so we believe very strongly in relationships. They build loyalty and they build win-win relationships, and that's how we like to do business.
Perfect. Smart way of viewing that. I always have admiration for folks in your industry because I assume you get a lot of these, hey, can we have this by like Wednesday? And it's Monday afternoon. And they might know like, oh, this is going to be a stretch, or they might just not know like what goes into what happens after the phone call or the email.
Yeah.
How do you deal with those requests?
You know, I don't believe they do know what goes on after the phone call or the email. It's amazing when you look at a product and you see a logo on a t-shirt or on a hat and you think that's easy, right? That was just a one color print on a white t-shirt or whatever. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to the type of fabric it is and the print and getting it through the work order system, ordering it in from the vendor, getting it scheduled in the print shop, everything else. So it happens, right? There's times we need stuff tomorrow. There's times you might even need something tonight.
Yeah.
And rushes happen. And the beauty of another difference that we offer is that we have a facility that can do that. There's a lot of our competitors don't have shops. They don't have production facilities. And so they don't control their production. They don't control their timelines. In fact, a lot of competitor accounts have called me and I've even said, hey, I know you're working with this competitor. Why are you calling me? They're like, well, because they can't get it done. They don't own their own production facility. So it's really come in huge for us. Not necessarily a moneymaker. You know what I mean? We didn't buy a production facility to make money on it. It's a bit of a loss leader, but the reason we keep it is because it allows us to control our production and really to, allow us to guarantee delivery to a customer when we say it'll be done by then.
Yeah.
One of the stories that we like to tell is of the Utah Jazz. They needed about 18,000 playoff t-shirts and they needed them in 3 days.
Yeah.
We had to source them out of Texas, which meant that we weren't getting them for about a day and a half. So here we've got a day and a half to print 18,000 shirts. It was a 2-sided hit, so 36,000 prints. We ran a 24-hour shift and got them done. Funny enough, they called us back a day later and said, we need another, I think another 3,000 shirts. Can you add it on? And so that was a fun job though, right? We were able to do it and get it done. And again, we ran the shift 24, it was a 24-hour shift to get that done. It took us about 36 hours to print that job. But we did it. We got it done in time. And, the Jazz don't know if they're playing from one game to the next in the playoffs, right? So we always pray that they're going to the next round. But it needed to be done. And we were able to, because we have a production facility, we were able to get it taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then kind of going back to the fun part, because those are all the t-shirts that are on the chairs when you get to the Delta Center.
We all love that.
And then you get to watch it on TV and be like, that was us.
They're tremendous pride. Yes, we are so thankful to the Jazz. They're certainly the biggest brand in the state of Utah, and we recognize that. It's a fun account to work with. They have great people over there. We're personal fans of the Jazz, so when they do well, we do well too. But it's a blast. It's a privilege to work with that account. Yeah,
it's also a bit of luck for folks that a new hockey team just got dropped in.
Awesome. So awesome. And we're actually, Sean, one of the other owners, is meeting with them end of next week to talk about that stuff. So a whole new world of opportunity, but certainly exciting for us, on the merch end of it, but exciting for the state. Yeah. It's just awesome.
Yeah. I believe they're called sweaters, not jerseys. So you might want to tell Sean that.
I'll tell him that.
You mentioned, there's a lot of folks that can, print a water bottle and there's a lot of folks in the industry. Are you seeing growth through just normal good business? Is there M&A stuff going on in the industry? What do you think the next 5-10 years would look like for you guys?
It's a great question. There's a lot of private equity money out there, and though we're not necessarily seeing it in our state just in our industry in this state just yet, private equity is buying things up. So in the background of our world, we work with multiple domestic suppliers and vendors, and they're merging, and they've been merging over about the last 20 years. We're also seeing those companies that used to work through companies like us going direct to consumer. So that's kind of a fascinating play that we're seeing take place behind the scenes. You have a lot of secondary brands that are popping up. If you think about the Lululemons, Vioris, things like that, where they're willing to partner direct rather than work through wholesale type companies. And so that's a very interesting trend. We're obviously keeping our eye on that. And we're reactively doing a lot more direct to consumer ourselves. So I think that over the next 5-10 years, the landscape to me looks like you'll see more private equity money come in and look at buying out some of the bigger businesses that are out there. Everything changes with private equity, right? We are, at least at the stage we're at right now, we're not very interested in that. We've got about 100 employees at our facility, and they're the ones that seem to suffer when that, when that comes in. And there's times it works great, right? But for companies our size, we'll see what happens. There's certainly nothing that's on the table or anything that we're looking at, but I think that you'll see more of that come into play. And I think that merch is and promo it's going to be as big as it ever has, if not bigger. What we wear is an expression of what we want people to know about us. Statement type t-shirts are huge, and statement apparel, and statement everything. Water bottles, right? The types of water bottles that we carry. We're making a statement about what we want people to know about us. And so I think that that's going to continue to grow. Businesses, the economy is not great right now. There's some layoffs coming. And so I think corporate's not spending as much on things like this. I think that they're being a little bit more calculated and a little more careful about how they're going about doing it. And we love that because, again, that's kind of where we feel like we specialize, is being a little bit different and specializing in a certain product or a certain event. So
there's always room at the top. At least that's what I've been told. So working with your in-laws, what are Sunday dinners like, or family reunions?
I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a challenge at times, right? I know they'd say the same. It's I don't know if when we first took this over from my father-in-law back in 1999. I don't know if we ever saw that we would be here 25 years later, right? It's been a good run, and it's been a long run, and we've been through a lot of changes. For years, we focused only on sports, right? That was a mistake. We've made a lot of mistakes looking back, but we've learned from them, and I think it's made us better and it's made us stronger. We have a great management team that we take tremendous pride in. We have wonderful employees that we take a ton of pride in. They take pride in their work. And so it's been fun. I mean, it's really been a ride. It's been a roller coaster, lots of ups and downs. I've always liked to say we have having 4 owners is difficult. There's 4 decision makers. We all have very dominant opinions. There was a point in time where even some culture was being a little bit affected by the ownership team being in there, having a management team, and the ownership team overstepping the management team, right? And so they even said, "Hey, we need some of you out of here." One of them being me. So I work from home now, and it's been great though. I mean, it allows me I'm still heavily involved. I'm involved in sales. In fact, I like to think I'm more involved in the business now than I've ever been. But the point being that we found that over the years, there were areas where we were holding the business back. And so we kind of needed to get out of the way and let some of our management team and even some other employees make some decisions that we believe can move us, forward and take us to the levels we want to get to. Sometimes that means owners getting out of the way.
I can imagine that could be its own little sitcom on the side, right? With a couple of sets of boxing gloves to.
Absolutely. Yeah. We love each other though. I mean, we've got a great relationship. It is tough when you're working together, you're going to family parties together, you're vacationing together. So there's a lot. And I think you definitely need your space from each other.
Oh, for sure.
But with that said, we get along great.
That's awesome.
It's a very close family. So
that is good. You've seen a lot of things over the years. Is there a particular product, either because it was lucrative, the margins are good, it sold well, or you just thought it was cool over the last 25 years?
Oh man, I'll give a shout out to one of the coolest products that I've seen as of recently is Go Sports. Go Sports is awesome, right? If you've seen it's the all acrylic longboard. And they've just come out with a cornhole set, and it's got the LED lighting. I'm kind of a sucker for LED lighting. Nice. Just a really, really cool product. But I've always been fascinated by somebody that can take an existing product or even an existing industry and revamp it and make you wonder how you ever survived without it, right? Mm-hmm. Like they take something that has already flooded the market and then they tweak it a bit and they just make it really, really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated by those things, but there's a lot that I could throw out there. Ghost boards is one that comes to mind right away. There's a lot of promo type products that are out there. I think custom pickleball paddles are awesome. You know what I mean? It's one of those sports that it's the fastest growing sport in America. And there's all different levels of quality to pickleball paddles, but that's a really cool new product. There's different bags that come out where, you know, you remember the days where you had to have a suitcase for some things and then your garment bag for others.
Yeah.
They now make those in just a duffel, right? And it's got a shoe kick out where you can keep the shoes separate, but you can hang a dress in this thing. You know what I mean? And at the same time, throw your gym clothes in it, as well as your shoes. So to me, it's the practical, functional products that come out that really kind of piqued my interest.
Yeah.
But I'm really into brands, fabrics. You know, a lot of my buddies kind of make fun of me because they know if I've been checking out the sweatshirt you're wearing. Like I go up and I feel people's fabric on their shirts because I love that stuff. We all like to wear comfortable fabrics, and so I'm really into that. So I love to see the new brands that are coming along and what people are doing in fabrics. And fits, you know what I mean? The different styles the 90s are back right now, which is crazy. Big oversized t-shirts, big thick logos.
Yep.
They say about every 20 years, right? So the 90s are back in style right now.
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't last too long.
I always say I'd never wear it, but some like it.
It is weird how like certain decades, I guess it's all to your personal taste, but there's certain decades where everyone was off that whole decade.
Yeah. No kidding.
Well, great story, Travis. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, and congrats on all the success you guys have had. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks again for the opportunity.
You bet.